I like the open spaces. I like the people that live out here. I just enjoy the lifestyle of working with the land and the cattle. My name is Yahn, and we're on my ranch that I own with my wife and my kids. And I manage the North Sterling and Pruitt reservoirs for the farmers. And I also am on the South Platte Basin Roundtable, and I'm also on the Colorado Water Conservation Board as its South Platte Director. Gravity feeds to the center of the pivot and then sprinkles the field. That's the way we irrigate our alfalfa for our cattle. Really, the water is the lifeblood to Northeast Colorado. Need all the water we can get because we only get about 15 inches of rain every year. We have about 90 acres of irrigated alfalfa, and then the rest is pasture. We have about 1,200 deeded acres total and another state section that we use to raise cattle. And so the alfalfa that we grow, we use it to feed the cattle in the wintertime. We have a lot of wildlife. We have deer, antelope, wild turkeys, all kinds of birds, owls, bald eagles, ducks, geese. That's one of the things I really enjoy about the place is just watching a lot of the different wildlife in the area. Not to mention, I just love the views. We put our house, on a nice place to overlook kind of the wetland area and the ditch, and so we just really enjoy being out here and enjoying all the aspects that this place has to offer. The conservation easement came up because I met one of the guys from Colorado Open Lands, and I always thought about doing something like this. One thing was finances, so they had some money available to do some interesting things, and one of the things that we were looking at was the potential to take part of the water that's used for irrigation and then still have the ability to use it for a different purpose. So in this conservation easement, it was kind of unique that we set aside that I could lease up to 30% of the water. I can't sell it, but I can lease it for other uses, whether it's industrial or municipal. So it was kind of the first of its kind. But the other reason I like doing it is because I don't ever want to see it developed. But Colorado Open Lands has been good to work with, if you think of something that maybe you wanted to do, that they're willing to work with you. So I made it a little bit flexible so that we could do some things. We could put another house if one of my kids wanted to move back or something like that. So we had some building envelopes. And so you can do things that you want to if you try to think of them ahead of time. But I just really didn't want to see 18 holes of golf and houses all along the fairways or something. I didn't want to see that. I like to see this open spaces, and that's the biggest value I think you get from these conservation easements. Conservation means different things to different people. As a reservoir operator, conservation means putting water away into a reservoir to use at a drier time. When I think of land conservation, I think of just holding the land from development. You're not allowing a lot of things to happen. You're trying to keep it either in its natural state or in its current use state, which this ranch would be in its current use as a working ranch. And that's what's nice about being able to do a conservation easement like this on the land, is that you get to continue to work the land just like you want it to work. That's why you bought it in the first place, so you wanted to use this land for that purpose, and you're allowed to do that. Growing up, I didn't consider myself an environmentalist. As ranchers and farmers, we're some of the biggest environmentalists because our family depends on the land. I would consider Colorado Open Lands to be that protector of the land, trying to do it a different way, and they both are needed. So working with Colorado Open Lands has always been a good experience. You can tell they love being out there just as much as you love being out there. They like doing what they do, and they do it with a purpose and passion, and that's what I like, because that's what I do out here. I try to do the ranching, the water, for a purpose and with passion. To be a steward of this land, I just consider it a duty. I look at it as God created this land, and we're allowed to use it for a time, and it's just my responsibility to treat it the best that I can. My reason for being here is to take care of it, so that the next generation can carry on and not abuse it and treat it with respect and really the love that I have for the area.